Let's start by clasping the hands behind the back, straightening the arms, pulling the shoulders back. My dantian is with my sacrum, which is sinking through my sitting bones into the ground. And my heart is with my sternum, which is thrusting upwards. The spirit is excited, but internally gathered. The excitement is the centrifugal, the lift, the expansion. And the internally gathered is the gravity, everything coming together and sinking as it gets more dense and heavy. You think of a hot air balloon ready to take off and yet tied by a rope to the ground. But the stake in the ground is your dantian, and the balloon is your heart lifting upwards. And we want a Taoist mind, a mind that needs both the gravity and the levity, because it's a mind that balances rather than chooses. Okay. And then let's breathe. Breathing in and breathing out. The arms mark the breathing, but also the small hole in the mouth. The breathing in, like a work phase, and then the out breath happens because I relax that, and there's a natural deflation. The tensing phase is the breathing in. The relaxation phase is the breathing out. Turning the out breath into the work phase. So I'm just relaxed. I've just finished my out breath. And now I really pull in my belly and breathe everything out. So now I'm really tensing up to completely empty. And then I relax that and air will come in. And then I breathe out as much as possible again. And then just relax that. And now combining those two. So first of all, let's start with an out breath. So completely empty, suck in the belly and blow everything out through the nose or the mouth. And then relax that. Air will come in. And now a work phase breathing in. Now I breathe in, expanding my chest. And then I relax that and breathe out. And then I suck in the belly to breathe out even more. Then I relax the belly. Then I expand the chest, working a work phase to breathe in even more. And then I relax that to breathe out. So combining belly breathing and chest breathing. So sucking in the belly, relaxing it back out, expanding the chest, and relaxing it back down. So there's 4 phases. Now just reaching. Up and down. Good. And now imagine you're pressing a bar upwards. I push up, and then I'll grab something and pull it down. All the time, I'm imagining resistance. So I really am pushing up a heavy weight here. I feel it driving me down into the cushion. And then here I grab something and really pull. So I'm trying to lift my own body up. Breathing in, breathing out. Now let's try it with the same breathing that we developed earlier. So breathing in, breathing out again, all the way, and breathing in, relaxing that to breathe out, and now really breathing out, squeezing the belly right in, and then relax that, and in-breath will come in. Now I work on the in-breath. Relax, work, relax, tense, relax, tense, relax. Lower back muscles tensing, then they relax, and then my belly muscles tense, and then they relax. Want to be able to see all four phases as being somewhat distinct. Okay. And then let's rub the hands. And the knees. We do this partly to soothe the knees, but really it's to knit together the lower back and the belly into this heaving machine. As one side tenses, it stretches the other side, which then kicks back. Allow the head to move. Okay. And then back to prayer. Really, that sort of sums up the method of Tai Chi, really, which is using the body to generate energy to stop the mind. Of setting up a very simple, repetitive movement that you can just really get into physically. And then the energy sort of builds up and you get into like a trance. And then the mind stops. There's no mind anymore. It's just this heaving, crazy body. Like performing musicians. When you look at them, they often look like they're either in ecstasy or in pain. And when their experience just starts immediately, first notes, and they're in a different place. Okay, let's rub the hands again. Just trying to generate a little bit of heat. If the hands are sticky, all the better, because then you have to work even harder. So there'll be more friction. Try and keep the shoulders down. And then placing the hands either side of the sacrum, so your palms cover the sacroiliac joints, tips of your middle fingers joining together in the tail. Your wrists are at the top of the sacrum, those dimples either side of the spine at the top of the sacrum. And here we have to struggle not to let the shoulders come forward. Shoulders are pulling back. And now rubbing the hands again, and we'll do the same thing with the head, back of the head. Feel the occiput region. And cradling the back of the head. And also very gently pushing it upwards to stretch the neck. Imagine the neck is getting longer and longer. And that's also straightening out the middle spine. So your sacrum is sinking and the occiput is rising. The chin is being pulled in, dropping down and being pulled in. Imagine someone's pushing your chin inwards. So when you get it right, the throat is a little bit constricted. This is the best way I've found to really feel the sacrum. Feels like my sacrum is expanding and spreading over my whole back. Either side into my hips and up into my neck and head. Everything that we do, we're doing not really to exercise the body, but to see how changes in the body affect the mind. So we need to stay in these exercises or postures long enough to be able to relax so that the mind can change. What the Greeks called metanoia, a change of heart. Stretching a leg now, trying to stay as close to the ground as possible with the heart. I'm trying to bend my knee backwards. And again, what sort of mind would allow that? And the other leg.
And have a look again. And the other. And back to the squat. Just bring some weight into the arms. And then just send the legs back. And down into the plank. To the hands without dropping the knees, and then one foot up and the other. Sumo squat. Then up. Then riding horse.
Feel the feet. Heels strong, heels wanting to slide outwards away from each other, but the toes wanting to pull towards each other. So my big toe is trying to press down. That is anchoring my noisy mind. The heels are drifting apart because the sacrum is swelling. That's the feeling. Relax the grip on the sacrum. That's relaxing the legs. Feeling that my inner thighs are trying to roll outwards. So as I go down, it's because my legs are rolling as well as bending. And then I simply roll it back and that will bring me back up. You don't have to go down very far. I want to go down because I'm opening up to the ground. Thighs are rolling out and I sink because of that. And then my thighs roll the other way. From leg to leg. My arm makes this scooping action, but it's nothing to do with the hand. It's all the shoulder blade releasing from the spine and moving across, which then extends down into the arm and the hand. So the hand is really like the last thing to move. My shoulder blade releases down into the shoulder, the elbow, and then the wrist, and then the fingers. I want the same feeling in the leg, like my hip bone is releasing from my sacrum, or you can think of it as like the sacrum really expanding into the hip bone. So something is growing here. And that extends down into the foot, which then claws at the ground. So it's coming from my core, my physical, energetic core, rather than from a design in my mind. If someone was to simply copy your movements, they'd get it completely wrong because it wouldn't be coming from the right place. First thing that happens is something expands across the sacrum. And then that reaches down the leg, and finally the body moves into the leg. First, the energy has to ripple across down into the foot, and then it can start pulling. Back into a wider pause. Now it should just feel a lot rounder. So pulling with the arms and the feet, basically it's just like if you pull with the arm, it's a straight arm becoming round. So we're producing roundness all the time. Big toe pressing down, tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth. They're both anchors for the mind, same as mind in Dan Chan. Moving from leg to leg with the bouncing. As I sink into one leg, I let the leg load like a spring, and then the leg will bounce me back out. So here we can see how the lightness that we're generating comes from the heaviness. But it's a springy heaviness. If there's no spring, it will simply be heavy and there'll be no lightness. Sink into the spring. The spring is already returning the energy, and my body sluggishly flows with it. We need to move slow enough so that we can feel the separate phases. I can feel my body sinking down. Now I can feel the energy coming up, and then I can let my body flow with it. What brings these exercises into the realm of energy, instead of simply being physical, is the sinking. I have to be able to keep this dominance of gravity. I'm being pulled down all the time. So this is really reluctant to write. And I'll just keep it going, but try and feel both aspects of the moving. So I've got the bouncing coming out of this leg, but I've also got the pulling with the other leg. They're both there, and I want to feel them both, but keep them both quite separate. Two different minds, single weighted, clearly distinguished, full and empty. Let's bring it back to riding horse. A riding horse is really our way of reconnecting to gravity. Gravitas, seriousness, probity, sobriety. on a little bit of the tree. So really sinking now, opening the legs, the thighs going down, scooping from the ground, bringing that up. And then without rising too much, so keep this sinking coming here. Just lean back a little and reach upwards. And then bringing something from the sky down. It's a bit like we're feeding on the ground and feeding on the heavens. Opening so that something can come out and make a connection. And then the closing draws something into me. We're sort of hunting. So the legs are my roots and the arms are my branches. Legs hug the earth and my arms embrace the sky. As you reach up, make sure the sacrum is still hanging. One more. And then back into riding horse. To circle exercise. It is established, and then feel the yielding. I'm breaking here in the hip to draw myself into this leg and also to suck the hand in. It's like I'm making a vacuum which sucks the world in here and then here. This is yielding. This is ward off, riding horse. The soft, shrinking front and the strong, expanding back. A mind that is endlessly retreating inwards so that the energy can open out and expand out. And let it become the figure of 8. So now both hands are with this trace. I'm not doing 2 separate circles anymore. Both hands are with this circle. And then both hands are with this circle. Now this hand sucked into this joint here, and then it picks up the energy from the sacroiliac. And as it does so, the other hand comes into this joint. You want to feel the opposite hand and foot connecting. So this hand is going out. My left hand has gone around my left foot. And then as I turn and yield here, it sucks in the left hand, which can then make a connection with this right foot. And then it turns back. And now I turn here. So this is sucked into this joint now and comes out. So the hand goes into both inguinal folds, comes into this one first, and that sort of anchors it, takes it down into my ground, and then it comes out and into here to pick up the energy from behind, pick up the wing effectively. So you can either bring it in here and let it come out with this energy from here, or you can let it come up into here and let it catch the shoulder wing. So into this joint, goes into the ground, comes out, and then catches something from behind and brings it around. So now I'm just using the one hand to trace the whole figure of 8 rather than simply its circle. You're coming into this joint, down into this foot, out, up, and then just reaching through the body to behind, catching the energy and bringing it around. This was the sort of thing we spent hours and hours working on in the forest before I came to Israel. I want this hand to really feel like it's getting down into the foot. And then here, I have to really imagine these wings. So I can use my thumb or my little finger to catch the crest of the wing and then bring it around. And then let's try some with the right hand. So I come into this, the left hip, down into the foot, and then I scoop something out of the ground, bring it up, and then I can either come in here or here and bring the energy from behind around the right. So into the left foot, up, and then into the right side, down, and up. Hand and the mind go down into the opposite foot and then come up into the same side. Now let's just try the two figures of eights, but with the bottom loop of the figure of eight in the opposite foot. The figures of eights just crossing over. Bring it back to riding horse. So heels out, toes in a little. Big toes pressing down and the knees trying to roll apart. Heavy sacrum, light sternum. Sacrum trying to sink, sternum trying to lift, or feeling like it wants to lift. What do I need to do with my mind to make all of this want to happen naturally? That's always the problem. Like John said, the only way you will possibly succeed at Tai Chi is if you fall in love with it. Is if you really, really want to do it. So when you're doing it, there's nothing else you would rather do. And now, using that same idea of the figure of eight, going into the opposite foot to go down, and then into the same foot to come up, to step. So I'm coming into this foot in order to pick up my right. So it's my left hand as I come into the right foot. My left hand goes down into that foot. I want to feel almost like there's a thread connecting the foot and the hand. So it's like my foot and my hand are connected. And then as the foot goes down, the hand gets taken down with it. And then the other hand, as it comes up, brings up its foot. So each hand is connected to its opposite foot. And then as I step out with this left foot, it takes my right hand with it. And then this hand can bring up my right foot. Feeling this connection. Going down into this foot, but this hand, as this hand sweeps up to come on top of the circle, it pulls this foot with it. So this foot gets dragged along the ground and up the leg so that it can stay connected to this hand. Just try and get the foot as high as you can, almost like you're trying to get it into that hand. And the same thing, but just stepping backwards and forwards with it. There's something about that way of working with the opposite hand and foot that really produces lightness. So it's interesting that the thing that John had, his sort of speciality really, the thing he had better than anyone else, was just really strong spirit. And the aspect of the Tai Chi that he focused on that others tended not to was the cross energy. So I think they're quite connected. Unless you work in this sort of way on the cross energy, then you don't develop the right sort of lightness, the right spirit, the fighting spirit. So the energy is coming up this leg and into this hand, and up this leg and into this hand. It's definite cross, pretty much where the dantian is, or the sacrum. And then let's just get this going to start with. Imagine you're like a vessel full, largely full of water, and you're just getting it to slosh. and getting all these sort of eddies and currents and little whirlpools developing in the liquid. The figure of eight is in two parts. The top circle and the bottom circle. But the bottom circle is generally sort of hidden because it's either in the ground, it's in your root, or it's in your leg. And then just very loosely jogging on the spot. And feel the sinking. The sinking, it's really just the mind staying with the body. The mind not drifting outwards. You need to visualize, really. So the best one for me is just imagining I'm in water. Imagine you're in the pool up to your waist, and the legs are trying their best to do this. The water would slow the legs down. You'd have to do it slowly. And you'd really have to concentrate because it would be hard work. All the time we're trying to create a system that would collapse if the mind wandered. This is what people hate. This is what students find so difficult, because their whole life is based upon distraction, upon a wandering mind. Imagine yourself in water. Or it can be like an ethical impulse. You can just be endeavoring to do it better. Can I really look at it and see, where am I getting it wrong? Where's it not quite continuous? Where am I cheating? And then just bringing your mind to bear on those problems. As John used to say, if the work that you're doing is not making you a better person, then you're wasting your time. So concentration. It's a dirty word nowadays. We're using physical energy, physical effort to produce, develop higher energies, chi, spirit, and these imaginary structures. And what enables that transformation to take place is the mind staying with it. Okay, so let's bring it back. My heels almost slipping on these tiles. Big toes catching. Big toes are sticking, heels are slipping. Body is physical, material. So it's with the material, it's with the earth, it's sinking, rooting. But the mind, the energy, and the spirit, they're not material. So they're not of the earth. And there's a sense that they are always wanting to break away from the world as we see it. And the ego is just that part of us that's fearfully holding ourselves together, fearfully denying energy and spirit. The ego is struggling to keep us with the body, and the ecstatic ecstasis standing outside is always trying to wrench us out of the body. That's what we want to focus on. And that's meditation, really. Meditation is creating a situation that's still and inactive enough for the body and the spirit to sort of drift apart a little bit. So you may still be in the body, but you're not of the body. These two different realities that just happen to correspond. Okay, so let's bring it up.